Come make a countertop with us. So first, what I'm doing here is measuring out the countertop. We used a plywood sub base, and then we're gonna go over and make a 3/4 inch. This is MDF, and we are measuring and cutting. So after everything's cut, we're going to place our MDF onto the substrate, which is the countertop, and then we're going to line up to where we're making our seam. So here we make marks. I'm using a dowel jig, and we're gonna put 5 dowels within the seam. We're gonna glue the dowels in, and then we're gonna glue the board together, and then we also clamp this up and let that glue dry good. And if you don't have a hammer, you just use whatever you can to hit those dowels in. And then we have some bar clamps. These are some like 10-foot bar clamps, so that way we can clamp across this. This is a big island. Next, I go to the saw and I rip 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch. These are going to be my finished edge. So I clamp these down, and then I put a brad nail in each of them. And then next we are going to bondo our seams. So I sand a groove inside each of the seams that go together, and then we bondo them, let that dry, sand them. We also bondo the front edge, sand the edge really good. You can use a router and do different roundovers, or you could do chiseled edge. On this one, we just went with a flat edge, and then we rounded the top with a router bit. We are now priming the board underneath. So when you are doing your epoxy pours, you want that bottom base color to be as close to the color that you're going to be putting on. And you'll see us be putting in multiple designs here too in a second. But that big island, we're just going to go with a black, simple marble look. So it's just going to be pure black with some fine marbling lines in it. And then on the countertop side, Callie has the Color Fix paints, and so she mixed a couple different colors together, and she's just using a textured roller to create texture onto this countertop. Sometimes when you're doing epoxy, you can do different effects underneath the epoxy. So here we are planning kind of the design. We just went with more of a simple design of the veining. So if you draw it out, you kind of get a little visual. Here we are mixing our Artistry Epoxy. This is our countertop formulation. Our Color Crush pigment drops in black. And mix that in. You are about 2% per gallon to make it a solid color, so you don't need much. We pour this out here. You have about a 45 minute working time with our countertop epoxy. Torch it, make it level, and then here we are going in with white and a white opal mica, and she's just dragging one of our mix sticks through the epoxy to create these cracking white marbling veins within that black epoxy here. Spray some alcohol, that creates some more fracturing inside that mica to break up a little bit. And this is the overall look on that island. Here, mixing up some more epoxy with a gray Color Crush. This is for the regular countertop. We're using some black ice, some diamond dust, and we're gonna pour into the mix bucket and kind of layer it, but you're only gonna stir just a little bit. We want it to kind of marbleize. We don't want it to mix together. So it's kind of like a dirty pour-ish, where you kind of get those colors to kind of break up as you're pouring them onto the countertop. So we spread out the epoxy. Here we are tapping down the epoxy, and that breaks up the micas and gives it a more fractured effect. Spray some alcohol, also kind of mixes up that mica a little bit. Torch it really good and let that sit. Here's the next day, us putting on the island. And then we taped all of the cabinets and plastic and everything. So we're cleaning this up. Epoxy is a messy, fun thing, but here we are cleaning it up, moving everything back. And here is the reveal. This is the island. We used our Mattify product to make it a matte finish. So the island has a soft matte look to it. And then on the countertop, it's bottle gloss, and it really has that granite look with multiple colors, multiple 3D effects, because we did that dabbing texture underneath it. And so it turned out amazing. Thank you guys for watching, and tune into more videos from us. We are going to be making more countertop videos, more art videos, more epoxy videos. So thank you guys for hanging out. See you on the next one.